Meet Suge Knight. Y'all remember Suge Knight, right? You know, famous music executive who hung around some hard folks. Hey, look, it's MC Hammer. Well, he was also known to be a bully in the music industry and would extort people for money. But one day, or night out in there, he threatened the wrong person. And that person was Akon and his road manager, but that's gonna come later. And it all started because Akon had a problem. See, Akon had just signed a producer named Detail, and Detail owed Ray J some money. Now, Suge Knight worked with Ray J, so that meant Detail owes Suge Knight some money too, and you don't want to owe Suge Knight some money. So Suge Knight calls Akon. He says, Akon, your producer owes some money. Akon says, okay, how much is it? I'll send it right now. Suge Knight says, oh, 25,000. Akon says, well, I'm cool with Ray J. I'll call him. We're going to work it out. Suge Knight says, all right, cool. So Akon calls Ray J and says, hey, I'll send you the money after Detail makes a few songs. Ray J says, that's cool, that's fair. Suge Knight said, fair this, fair that. Akon, where my money at? So Suge Knight pulls up on Akon. He says, Akon, where my money? Akon said, I just talked to Ray J. He said he's going to split it with you. Suge Knight said, well, why don't you just send it to me and I'll split it with Ray J? Akon said, I already promised Ray J I would send it to him. You just going to have to take it up with him. Suge Knight said, that's cool, no problem. Turns out it wasn't cool because Suge Knight pulls up on Akon a few more times, has the same conversation. But then here's where things start to get wicked. The fourth time Suge Knight pulls up on Akon, Akon's at a party. Suge Knight been drinking a little bit. He pulls up on Akon. He says, yo, where my money at? Akon said, Brody, we just talked about this. Suge Knight said, well, call me Thomas Edison because I ain't hear nothing. Fun fact, for those of you that didn't know, Thomas Edison only had partial hearing in one ear. Akon said, Brody, come on now. Now, this is when Akon's road manager notices Suge being a little aggressive. So he walks over and says, Suge, if you really got a problem, we can throw them things in the bathroom or you just gonna have to move on. Now, something I forgot to mention is Akon's road manager's name is Big Ja, and he big. Look at that man's neck. Suge Knight says, I don't fight weak people on this side. Everybody notices the person with Suge Knight has that on them tough. But then Suge Knight made some mistake. He gassed up. He's saying people's mamas be scared to come to LA when I'm through. Boom! Big Ja hits him with a clean right. Big Ja's mom had recently passed away. This hit a sore spot. Suge Knight goes straight to sleep. I don't know if it was this exact moment, but it works for this story. Suge Knight was knocked out a few times, but he's sleeping. He wakes up. He says, what happened? He said, oh yeah, I was threatening someone. And your mom, he gets tapped by his friend. He said, his friend said, Suge, you at the hospital. We not there no more. Suge says, what? Damn, boy got a mean right. The police walk in and say, okay, he up from his nap. Suge, what happened? Suge said, I'm Suge Knight. You think I'm finna tell y'all anything? The police say, all right, probably not. Suge Knight says, wait. His name was Big Ja. He's Akon's road manager. He about 6'2", 250. Suge gets to singing. Now, Suge denies this part, but according to a few people, he brought up charges against Akon's road manager. And he tells Akon's road manager, I'll drop the charges if you send me some money. They ended up paying Suge Knight a bunch of money, and he dropped the charges.